address this concern will get away. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you to our guest speaker, Shri Manoj Kumar. Mr. Kumar has been associated with Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, a premier autonomous regulatory body for securities market in India for more than 19 years. Started his career with SEBI in 1996 as an officer and is currently heading Market Regulation Department as Chief General Manager in SEBI. Prior to being elevated as General Manager, he has worked with 2 whole-time members as Executive Assistant. At present, he is Chief General Manager heading Market Regulation Department. He has been associated with key SEBI initiatives as Nodal Officer such as Accounting Standards Committee chaired by Shri Y.H. Malegam, Corporate Compliance Committee chaired by Narayan Murthy. He has been the member of core group that successfully designed and implemented integrated market surveillance system. Currently, he was member secretary of the Committee on Review of Eligibility Norms for Market Intermediaries. He represented SEBI in many task force of IOSCO. SMEs has always been backbone of Indian economy. To share statistical numbers pertaining to SME space in India, the sector accounted for more than 17% of the GDP in 2014, while contributing 45% of the nation's industrial output and 40% of the total exports. The SMEs in India adds over 1.3 million jobs per year. It has always been government's endeavor to ensure flourishment of SMEs through innovative process and products. To put things in perspective, I now request our guest speaker, Shri Manoj Kumar, to address this august gathering.
Good evening and warm welcome to all of you. You have demonstrated the spirit of Nagpur, because this evening, such a wonderful gathering, we are all enthused. Shri Atul Pandey, President of Vidarbha Industries Association, Shri Vikas Jain, Joint Director of Industries, Shri Ravi Varanasi, Chief Business Development of National Stock Exchange, Shri Om Prakash Bagadia, Chairman, and Mr. Anil, who is sitting there, Varun Parekh and Seema Nayak, and all of you who have gathered here in large number. See, Nagpur has always enthused me as a child, because for a simple reason, I belong to North India, and in North India, the wonderful product which comes from Nagpur, that is the origin, right? Besides that, when I was growing and I used to play tennis, and for tennis, my guiding factor was a very old gentleman from Nagpur. He used to come and settle here in Nagpur during winters, because winters are harsh in North India. And he always used to tell me that, "Tumhari taange bahut kamzor hain." And I always used to wonder that why he is after my legs. He is not talking about my game. And then I realized, and then I started running and developing strength in my legs. And because of that guidance, I was able to play at a national level, international and university level. So I was not able to appreciate his guidance at that point of time. But now I understand that what type of spirit and the standing ability he was trying to highlight. Because probably he was settled in Nagpur and he was communicating the thrill and the spirit which Nagpur has. And in addition, when I came and I shifted to Mumbai, one of my friend, probably I don't know whether he is still here or he has left, he owns a publication house by the name of Himalayan Publishing. And when 1996 I shifted to Mumbai, he was there and he was associated with us. And I have always seen him with a lot of spirit. And I always used to ask him that, "Mr. Anuj Pandey, from where you are driving all this spirit?" And he always used to tell me that, "Mr. Manoj bhai, ek baar aap Nagpur visit karo." And this is my first visit to Nagpur. And I am really, really amazed to see such a wonderful city. And I am sure, as Ravi just mentioned, that probably NSE will have more interaction in Nagpur, and probably they will invite me. Pandey Sahab will also think of inviting me, and I would keep loving coming to Nagpur. See, having said all this, if you see, as Ravi was mentioning, that regulator never ventures out because regulator has certain regulatory pride. So they never go and seek help or assistance from entrepreneurs like you that you come forward and list. But as Mr. Jain was mentioning, the times have changed. And the thrust of all of us, whether it is NSE, whether the Government Industry Department, Vidarbha Association, emphasis of all of us is to see that large number of people, they come forward and get the benefit of this platform, which is emerged in NSE, and similarly BSE is also having. And when we were having a closed door interaction, we have highlighted many benefits, that what type of benefits you can have, but there were certain concerns which were raised by some of you related to cost and other issues. Our idea of coming all the way to Nagpur or to various locations is to have an extensive interaction with all of you. As Ravi has said, that probably after this one-way dialogue, we will love to have some sort of interaction, and we will try to answer any of your queries. But the real idea is that all of you should help us in developing this platform. And I just want to share, because lot of has been shared with you on technicalities of the platform. I would not repeat that. But a simple issue which I like to emphasize is that world over, all regulators are giving lot of emphasis to this SME platform and SME listing. And reason is very simple. If you see Government of India initiative, Government of India has emphasized Make in India, and Making in India, all of you know, is going to be successful only when large number of you come forward and support that initiative. Similarly, IASCO, which is our international body and where all of us are members, they have put lot of emphasis on the long-term funding aspect for SME sector. And the emphasis in that entire report, which is available on the website, I need not report, but just to highlight that what is the emphasis. Emphasis is that the capital market is probably the best source of generating efficient funds, efficient capital. And that's why all of us are here. We would be more than happy if we can clarify your doubts, clarify your apprehensions. But one thing which we like to re-emphasize is that if you get associated with this type of market, you will definitely understand and know more that what type of benefits emerges from this type of funding. So my request to all of you is that since we are here for maybe another half an hour or more than an hour, if time permits, whatever doubts, whatever queries you have, which can help us to develop this particular segment better, you should definitely raise it, ask us. We would be more than happy. If you have, some people who are having suggestions, those suggestions they can give us anytime. Our addresses and our contact details, everything is widely available, because we are a more transparent regulator. So you can go to our website, you can see, you can always approach us. The real emphasis is that this particular segment or the model which we have framed, if all of you support it, probably it will become one of the successful models. We as a regulator, if you people are aware of the securities market, SEBI drives lot of pride in the sense that we are one of the leading regulators in the world. And credit goes to these wonderful exchanges and various associations, and a large credit to all of you. And in all sectors, whether it is governance standards, whether it is listing standards, whether it is investigations and surveillance issues, we have definitely created our benchmark. And this SME is another segment where we definitely would love to create global standards and benchmarks. And in that process, we need to have wholehearted support from all of you. Having said that, there were certain issues which people were talking about valuation and wealth creation. As a regulator, while it is very good process to generate wealth, create value, and everybody should do that, but I would like to slightly caution you, because I am from a regulatory side and this is my duty to be slightly cautionary, in the sense that don't just look forward that this platform will generate this value. You should look at as a long-term wealth creation perspective. Because if you have seen that recently, SEBI has acted very harshly against 2-3 companies for a simple reason that we don't want to spoil this platform. As you know that in the past we have made lot of efforts. We have come out with various models which have somehow have not become that successful. So we don't want that those type of players should enter into the market, because if those type of players enter into the market, they create challenge for all honest players who are in the market. So you should look to this entire effort of exchanges and the regulator is to create a genuine wealth. And for creation of genuine wealth, I am assuring you from the regulatory perspective that as a regulator, we would always be with you. We will do the maximum handholding. Exchanges have also kindly consented, and they are doing it on a regular basis to handhold and to resolve any of the issues, because this is one of the thrust areas, as Joint Director Industries have mentioned, that even the state government is taking a lot of initiatives in this. With these words, I am again highly grateful to all of you, because we rarely see such a full hall and attendance, and that too, I was told that it's a sleepy town and people come here for retirement, and in the evening they go for jogging, but I am grateful that all of you are here to listen to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for your valuable insights. We look forward to continued initiatives from the regulator towards progressive regulation, bringing in more transparency and quality intermediation. I now open floor for formal question and answers.
Movement which is happening. More than, I was told, about 3,500 startups have started in India in the last couple of years, and in particularly in the new technology, new economy area, e-commerce, m-commerce, and stuff like that. So, allowing some of these companies to raise capital when they are still not fully established, or when the business model is not fully known, could be little too premature. So what SEBI has done is has come out with a new set of regulations which allow even the startups and the new economy companies which have not demonstrated cash flow so far to get listed on a platform called Institutional Trading Platform. there the requirements are a little stringent. It is going to be a fairly controlled kind of an IPO, and the lot size is 10 lakh rupees, and qualified institutional investors are only to be investing in that. At least 75% has to come from qualified institutional investors. So guidelines have been drawn for that. So startups like you are hearing about Snapdeal, Flipkart, and they've grown fairly substantially. So some of these companies are trying to get listed, and some of them are looking outside the country to get listed. So SEBI has come out with a set of regulations which will allow them to get listed. None of them are making money. Obviously, I mean, most of these companies are still not making money. They're possibly burning the money as of now. So for them to get listed, SEBI has come out with a set of regulations. So that is available. So if a company which is not having a track record, but the criteria there are different, they're a lot more stringent. But if you fulfill the criteria, we can look at each of the companies, understand your requirement, and see whether you will fit into that platform and take you there. That's a possibility.
Sir, we have a company with a net worth of 31 crore, having 1,400 shareholders, and a track record of 25 years of profitability, dividend, everything. Now, can this company be listed on your exchange without IPO? 1,400 shareholders, promoters holding less than 50%, throughout profitable, having banking with 3 banks, borrowing from national entities like IFMR, Sundaram, like that. But we are caught, well, I had discussed this issue with many merchant bankers. They had posed several problems. Number one is, they said it is 100% underwriting is necessary. But then you have to collect money yourself. Underwriter don't take this responsibility. They said, unless you are confident of garnering that much of funds, don't go in for IPO. They said like this. Then there's the question of market making for 3 years. Somebody sells, you have to buy. Somebody buys, you have to sell. Now, how to manage this? Should we exhaust our energy in managing our business, or this merchant, this market making, that too for a period of 3 years? So that was the apprehension, and therefore we are now waiting something good to happen. Can you advise us?
No, case to case it's a bit of a difficult proposition, but if you are looking for, raising funds from the market for the company, then you can do an IPO. If you don't require funds in the company, you want to just dilute and get listed, you can do a 25% dilution, what is called an offer for sale, where you are offering promoter shares to the general public, and then you can get listed. That's a possibility. So we'll have to really see the balance sheet and other financials. And as far as the market making requirement is concerned, because SME platform is going to have a limited number of investors, SEBI wanted to ensure that if some of your investors who have invested in the IPO wants to exit, they should find a seller. That's the reason why the market making requirement has been put in place.
What happens is herd mentality. People come for selling at once, people come for buying at once. So how do this is to be dealt with by the promoters then?
Yeah, no, let me put it this way. Actually, when we, though there is a lot of concern about market making from the enterprises as well as from the merchant bankers, the intermediaries, what we have seen so far is most of the times people who are coming into the SME IPOs are long-term investors. Very rarely we have seen a case where somebody has come in and then 15 days down the line wants to exit that. Because the way the SME IPOs are being marketed to high net worth individuals and institutional investors, most of these investors are long-term investors. Usually they don't step out in a very, very short period. So though there is a significant concern around the market making, if you kind of market the issue properly, this concern should not be a major problem. But again, the market making requirement obligation is on the merchant banker, and of course merchant banker would fall back on you for support in case the market making has to be provided. But individual cases, we can sit with you and with the merchant banker, understand, and some of these things, again, as I said, are perception issues, and our experience so far has been that the issues which have come on NSE have not really gotten to any difficulty as far as making is concerned, because once you are able to get the right kind of investors into the company, you should be able to really live with that. Though, I mean, they're also trying to participate in your growth. They're not unlike main board where some people might want to exit immediately after listing. Here, most of them are long-term investors. Most of them are willing to stay with you for a period. So we really don't see that as a major concern.
There was a move of reducing this minimum application amount from 1 lakh to 15,000. Is there any progress? Because 1 lakh is a very big amount from the general investors.
First, I would just like to elaborate what Ravi has said, that market making you should see from a different perspective. See, why market making has been brought into this platform? For a simple reason that these are small companies and there is a need to have some sort of liquidity. So market making as a concept provides liquidity. World over, market making is always seen as a concept where liquidity is provided and generated, and it is whenever there is a liquidity in a stock, it always helps the company. So I'm not very sure whether market making per se will create some challenges. That's one aspect. And second question was related to the enhanced reduction.
Application money, minimum application money.
You want that it should be reduced.
It's about 20,000.
You see, why we have done as a regulator this 1 lakh size is that there are, if you see the concept as such in SME is lesser disclosure. We have not emphasized on great degree of disclosure for a simple reason that we want that all these smaller companies should be lesser burdened. Suppose we allow very small investor to come into your this type of companies, and something happens, as I was cautioning. I should not have cautioned because right now I am in a developmental role, but at the same time my role is to tell you. See, a smaller investor when it comes, as Ravi was mentioning, that we believe that an investor who is slightly larger will come to this type of companies for a longer duration. And if somebody who is investing in for a longer duration, then he or she is providing you a stability as a smaller company. If you have smaller investors, if suppose we reduce the size, every day you would start facing challenges. A person who is holding say 10 shares, he will start complaining to SEBI as a regulator that SAPA company is not making enough disclosure. So we want to avoid all these challenges. So I'm sure that this even 1 lakh, probably from your side, demand should be that it should be made to 2 lakhs, not to reduce to 25,000.
हम रजिस्टर ब्रोकर से ही अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहिए। सर, मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम ये था कि बहुत लोग विश्वास के साथ में रेगुलेटरी पे विश्वास करके मार्केट में अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, लेकिन सर कुछ ऐसे ब्रोकर्स को भी इसमें लाइसेंस मिल जाता है जो इंटेंशनली मतलब इसमें डिफॉल्ट करने के लिए ही शायद पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, और नॉर्मल इन्वेस्टर जो है इसमें पूरी तरह से पिस जाता है। इसके बावजूद भी रेगुलेटर से हम लोग मतलब फॉलोअप भी लेते तो काफ़ी बार इनकी तरफ से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता है। तो इस मैकेनिज्म पे सर मतलब इन्वेस्टर को एक कॉन्फिडेंट होना चाहिए कि हमारी रेगुलेटरी इतनी स्ट्रांग है कि हम लोग मार्केट में अगर इन्वेस्ट करते हैं हमारा मनी तो एटलीस्ट इन्वेस्टर इसमें सेफ है। तो इस बात पे थोड़ा सा मतलब रेगुलेटरी अगर अपना फोकस बढ़ाए तो, क्योंकि इस प्रॉब्लम को मैं काफ़ी फेस कर रहा हूँ सर। मैं यूनिकॉर्न सिक्योरिटीज़ में मेरा काफ़ी सारा फंड सटका हुआ है, और मैं मिस्टर एनएससी के जो डिफॉल्टर कमेटी के असिस्टेंट मैनेजर मिस्टर अरजित धार से भी इस बारे में काफ़ी फॉलोअप में हूँ, लेकिन सर मुझे रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता इनके तरफ से। एक बार बहुत सा मेल आ जाता है।
जवाब दूँ?
जी सर।
पहली बात तो ये है कि ये जो पूरा प्रोग्राम है ये एसएमई सेक्टर का है, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आपने क्योंकि प्रश्न उठाया है और रेगुलेटर की एबिलिटी पर प्रश्न चिन्ह लगाया है।
बिल्कुल सर।
हाँ, मेरा ये दायित्व बनता है कि मैं उसको क्लैरिफाई करूं।
जी।
ब्रोकर किस टाइप के आते हैं उन सबका क्वालिटी चेक होता है। अगर आप देखेंगे, मैं एक स्पेसिफिक बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, आपने एक स्पेसिफिक ब्रोकर का नाम लिया, मैं वो उस स्पेसिफिक्स में नहीं जाना चाहता हूँ। अगर आपकी जो प्रॉब्लम है वो रिजॉल्व नहीं हुई है तो आप हमको हमेशा लिख सकते हैं, हमारी एक ग्रीवांस सेल है जहाँ पर वो आपको रिप्लाई देगी। अगर कोई और रिप्लाई नहीं देता है तो आप मेरी ईमेल आईडी ले सकते हैं, मैं आपको रिप्लाई दूंगा।
जी जरूर,
ठीक है, लेकिन मैं स्पेसिफिक्स में नहीं जा रहा हूँ। हम हमेशा ये बोलते हैं एज अ रेगुलेटर कि इस पूरे बाजार में हर आदमी का दायित्व है, चाहे वो आप हो एज अ इन्वेस्टर, चाहे ब्रोकर हो, चाहे एक्सचेंजेस हो, चाहे लिस्टेड कंपनीज हो, हम सब इसके स्टेक होल्डर हैं और हम सबको विजिलेंट रहना चाहिए हर।
जी।
लेकिन हमारा ये अनुभव है एज अ रेगुलेटर कि जिस समय इन्वेस्टर के पास पैसा आता है, इन्वेस्टर जो बेसिक नॉर्म्स होते हैं उनको भी कंप्रोमाइज करने की पोजीशन में आ जाता है, बिकॉज उसके लिए फिर ब्रोकर जो है सबसे अच्छा एंटिटी और इंसान हो जाता है। बिकॉज पैसा आता है तो वो ब्रोकर को फोन पे ही बहुत सारी बातें बोलता है, वो कभी चिंता नहीं करता कि मेरे पास बिल आ रहा है, मेरे पास कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नोट आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा है, कहाँ ब्रोकर पैसा लगा रहा है। और जब बाजार की कंडीशन, जैसे आपको पता है कि ये बाजार ऊपर नीचे जाता रहता है, और जब बाजार की कंडीशन खराब होती है तो वो सीधा सेबी के पास एज अ रेगुलेटर आता है कि भाई अब मुझे नुकसान हो गया, अब ये मैं क्या करूं। ठीक है, सेबी कभी भी किसी भी इशू में, चाहे वो ब्रोकर हो चाहे लिस्टेड कंपनीज हो, जैसे रवि ने अभी बोला कि जब अगर मेन बोर्ड की लिस्टिंग होती है तो हम कभी किसी के पास नहीं जाते कि आप आइए और लिस्टिंग करिए। ठीक है, ये तो हमारा डेवलपमेंटल एक्सरसाइज है, हम ये चाहते हैं कि इस प्लेटफॉर्म की अवेयरनेस बढ़ाई जाए, इसलिए हम आपके सामने बैठे हैं। इसी तरीके से हम हर एंटिटी का एक ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस करते हैं। कोई भी ब्रोकर हमारे यहाँ रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो सकता अगर वो उस ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस से ना गुजरा हो। और ब्रोकर के केस में तो ये डबल प्रोसेस है, एक्सचेंजेस भी देखते हैं और उसके बाद हम एज अ रेगुलेटर देखते हैं। तो ब्रोकर पर से अगर आप देखेंगे तो वो सब उस ड्यू डिलिजेंस से गुजरे हुए होते हैं। अगर आप देखें हमारे बाजार में अभी तो ब्रोकरों की संख्या कम हो गई, उससे पहले तो 8-10 हजार 12 हजार के करीब ब्रोकर हुआ करते थे। तो आप देखेंगे कि सारे 8-10-12 हजार ब्रोकर इस तरीके के काम नहीं करते हैं। ये गिने चुने एक आध ब्रोकर हैं जिन्होंने इस तरीके का काम किया है। और अगर आप सेबी की वेबसाइट पे जाएं तो आप देखेंगे कि सेबी ने अपनी 1992 की हिस्ट्री अगर आप सेबी को उठा के देखें, जब से सेबी बना है तो सेबी ने सबसे ज्यादा एक्शन ब्रोकर से अगेंस्ट लिए हैं।
बिल्कुल।
और अगर मुझे नहीं पता यहाँ कोई ब्रोकर बैठा है, जब हम ब्रोकर कम्युनिटी के साथ बैठते हैं तो वो कहता है कि साहब आप हमारे ऊपर ही हार्श क्यों हैं, आप इन्वेस्टर के अगेंस्ट में क्यों नहीं एक्शन लेते हैं।
सर लेकिन उन्हीं के कुछ लोग इंडस्ट्री को खराब कर रहे हैं ना।
वो बात आपकी।
सेकंड थिंग सर, मतलब कैसा है कि उनको अगर एक्सचेंज से आप डिबार कर रहे हैं या उनको काम नहीं करने दे रहे, इससे इन्वेस्टर का कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं।
वो बात आपकी बिल्कुल सही है।
सर कहाँ प्रोटेक्ट,
हर तरीके के लोग बाजार को खराब करते हैं, चाहे वो इन्वेस्टर हो, चाहे वो ब्रोकर हो, चाहे वो लिस्टेड कंपनी हो। इसीलिए जब मैं बोल रहा था तो मैं यही क्वेश्चन कर रहा था कि आप इस बाजार में खराब करने के लिए नहीं आइए, खराब करने के लिए आएंगे, चाहे वो आप इन्वेस्टर हैं, ब्रोकर हैं, हम बहुत हार्शली एक्शन लेंगे। ठीक है, लेकिन आपकी अगर जेन्युइन ग्रीवांस है, अगर किसी ब्रोकर ने आपको धोखा दिया है और आपने सारे नॉर्म्स को कंप्लाई किया है तो आप सेबी को लिखिए, आप मुझे भी लिख सकते हैं, वी विल टेक स्ट्रिक्टेस्ट पॉसिबल एक्शन।
सर पिछले 11 महीने से मैं कंप्लायंस में मेरा कंप्लेंट दर्ज है, इसके ऊपर मेरा 15-15 दिन में फॉलोअप चलता है, उसके बावजूद भी मुझे एनएससी से कोई रिस्पांस नहीं आता। सर इस बात
आप मेरे को मिले, मैं अभी आपका सोल्यूशन दूंगा। ठीक है,
यस सर, डेफिनेट।
एमई पर अगर आप प्रश्न पूछेंगे तो हम लोगों को खुशी होगी।
क्वेश्चन था सर, मिनिमम कैपिटल जो लास्ट 2-3 साल में रेज हुआ है एसएमई के थ्रू, और मैक्सिमम कितना रेज हुआ है सर, उसे शेयर कर पाएंगे?
Most of the capitalizing is between 10 crores and 35 crores. The minimum one company has, gone for a 5 crore capital also. But it all depends on your ability to absorb the capital and your growth plan. And I don't really see, if it's less than 5 crores, it may not make too much of sense because the expenses could be significant. upper limit, there's no upper limit as such. We can look at individual cases, but we have seen a 35 crore issue which has gone through without any difficulty. And that issue actually got oversubscribed 3 times. And there are issues in the pipeline which people are talking about 50 to 60 crores on SME platform. So it's possible, anywhere between 5 to 60 crores depending on your business and your growth plan and your ability to absorb the capital for furthering the growth, because your plan of growth